So in this video we're going to show the building of a bathroom vanity from the raw plywood all the way to the finished product, including assembly, face frame, doors, lacquer, hardware, the whole shebang. So let's get into it. Alrighty, it's build time. So the first thing you want to do is have an awesome design before you ever get started. This way you're able to figure out a lot of the head scratching moments before you ever cut a piece of plywood. I did not do this on this job. I had my basic measurements and layout and kind of inspiration for what they wanted and just went for it. So with the basic layout and design, we start building the boxes. And what I used here was UV finish one-sided 5/8 inch plywood. The UV finish gives you an awesome inside of the cabinet, so you don't have to paint or anything. It gives you that nice wood grain. It's smooth and shiny. And the reason I use 5/8 plywood is because I feel like anything less than is not as strong or supportive. So you kind of wind up turning into a rhombus shape and not that strong, rigid square that you want to support the weight of the countertop and so on and so forth. Now it's moving on to face frame time. And what I used here was poplar dimension leaf lumber, the 13/16. Thumbs up. So when I attach this face frame, what I use is my Craig jig pocket hole jig. And it gives you an awesome way to secure these face frames that's strong and will last. Very nice. Now it's time to attach the face frames. And there's a ton of different ways to do this. Biscuit joiner, domino joiner. But what I use here is my brad nailer and wood glue, and just shoot it straight into the plywood. And the reason for this is since these are paint grade cabinets, I'm going to wind up bondoing every joint and every nail hole to give me a smooth, flat finish. And that's what I want. And here I am making the end panel for the right side master vanity. So here's the first sand. I like to get it down to about a 220 coat with the 220 finish sandpaper. And then after this, we're going to apply Bondo. And this Bondo is available at any Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon. And I think what I'm using here is the all-purpose putty. Now everything's sanded, bondoed, and ready to paint. So we do some prep, and what I used here was a tinted lacquer primer. And then you just have to request it at Sherwin-Williams. And the reason I use tinted is because my finished coat of paint is going to be black. So with the primer applied and sanded down, I start to apply the finish coat. And this is one of many. I only included one clip here because it did about 4 coats of the finish with a tricorn black. And in between priming and finish coat, I use a 400 grit sandpaper by hand to get nice and smooth. Now with the cabinets on site, it's time to start installing. So I get some initial measurements, get my nice flat level line, and find the location of the holes for the water fixtures. And I cut them out of the back of my cabinet and get ready to install. And with the cabinet in place, all I have to do is make sure that it's level, plumb, and install screws. Screw it to the wall. Same goes for this. I like to find the lowest point, the highest point on the floor, and that's where I start. That way I can pick up the other cabinet to meet it. And if you see right there is my little wind bag. That wind bag comes in so handy when you're leveling cabinets. It's like a shim, an adjustable shim. So I use that wind bag to level the cabinet, and then I slip a shim in its place. Now with the first cabinet level and squared, I use my clamps to secure the face frames and make a union right there, screwing straight through the face frame to hold everything nice and flat. Give it a double check with the level, pick it up where it needs to be, and when I'm satisfied, it's time to screw it into the wall. There they are, ready for drawers and drawer fronts. So on to the paint booth. Now I found that this method is a lot more effective than just spraying out in the open. When I plasticed off this room and turned it into a paint booth, you know, it keeps the bugs out, keeps the wind out, and it's a more controlled environment for a nice, shiny finish. So with everything prepped, painted, ready to go, we start installing. When we're installing door fronts, a lot of this is figured out in the design phase. But you always want to double check your measurements. That's what this whole process is all about, keeping everything symmetrical with even reveals. So double, triple check your measurements. Go on about installing. So if you're wondering what the blue tape is about, we use that to make our marks for our center holes on the pulls for the hardware. As the cabinet finish is so dark, you can't even see a pencil mark. And it also helps to prevent blowout and tearing when making your holes. This is another process. It's all about making those marks. And I've used jigs in the past, but I find it takes just as much time as just making some marks. So that's the way I like to do it. Have it. That's the finished product here. Sleek, modern, clean, beautiful. So thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.